The national team digested quite a lot of drama and setbacks last year. It started when the Larong Volleyball NG Pilipinas Incorporated (LVPI) announced that it will hold tryouts early April. The announcement mostly received outraged response from volleyball aficionados, questioning the need for another tryout when the body has already conducted several tryouts in the past 3 years. According to most, it would be wiser if the body would just keep the 2017 lineup intact and then add potential players rather than starting from scratch again. As consolation to the dismayed hearts of the fans, it was announced that coach Ramil de Jesus will be handling the national team. De Jesus calling the shots for the national team was long overdue. The Salle mentor was the head coach when the Philippines won bronze in the Southeast Asian Games back in 2005, the last glorious finish of the country in the international arena. In 2014, he was tapped anew to oversee Pilipinas, an 18-pool squad composed of young players and veteran spikers. But power struggles and conflict between the governing bodies have volleyball occurred, thus leading to the dissolution of the squad and De Jesus taking a step back from the national team. So when the head coach post was assigned to him last year, the volleyball community rejoiced. National team prospects both coming the PSL, PVL, UP and NCAA were called to join the tryout, with mainstays Alyssa Valdez, A.B. Morano, Dawn McIndilly and Jaja Santiago leading the list. Many heeded the call, showing up at the Arellano University gym as De Jesus looked for the right set of players who will banner the flag in its return to the Asian Games. But in a stunning twist of event, less than 2 months after his designation, De Jesus stepped down from his post. According to LVPI, commitment is one of the reasons why De Jesus exited, as he was currently coaching 3 local squads. Patron coach Shaq De Los Santos came in as replacement, picking up where De Jesus left off and holding a third tryout, as even the national team prospects have had a hard time committing. After thorough selection process, the 20-woman pool was revealed, which was later on trimmed to 14, with Morano getting the nod as the team captain of the ASEAN lineup. Surprisingly enough, national team snubs Ara Galang, Cici Rondina, Tots Carlos and Catharado did not even make the initial 20 players cut, creating yet another hullabaloo in social media forums. Injuries plagued the squad as Cest Molina, who was part of the ASEAN roster, sustained a shin injury and was replaced by Malene Pot, who wasn't even in the 20-woman pool. Reserves Mila Pablo and MJ Phillips also begged off due to injuries, while Ray Demaculangan stepped down to give way to younger players. As preparation for the ASEAN, the national team set up exhibition matches with 3 PSL teams in July, sweeping all of their assignments despite playing with incomplete lineups. They also underwent a 2-week training camp in Japan with the Okayama Seagulls before heading to Indonesia a day prior to the opening ceremony of the tournament. And then game time came. The Philippines successfully made its grand return to the ASEAN, ending a 36-year non-participation. As expected, the national team yielded to powerhouse teams Thailand and Japan during the pool play round and to China in the quarterfinals. These 3 teams are just way ahead of the Philippines, who is still nursing the wound caused by a long hiatus from international tournaments. Against its neighbor Indonesia and Kazakhstan, expectations were higher, especially with the fact that it has given the latter a good fight during the Asian Senior Women's Volleyball Championship in 2017, before succumbing in 5 sets. But Philippines lost to Indonesia in 4 sets during the preliminaries, dropped yet another 5-setter against Kazakhstan in the classification round, and bowed again in 4 sets against the host country for the 7th-8th playoffs. The national team finished 8th out of 11 teams, a far cry from the expectations that it will at least reach semifinals. 2 weeks later, the national team -5 players from its ASEAN stint embarked on another international battle. The Philippines participated in the AVC Cup for women in Thailand. After 2 4-set matches and 3 5-setters, the national team wrapped their campaign at 9th place out of 10 teams. So did the national team fared well in the international arena last year? Based on what's expected from them, they didn't. But a lot of factors could be attributed to this, with the most obvious one being the coaching changes. The last 4 years saw the national team being handled by 3 different coaches: Roger Goraeb, 2015, Francis Vicente, 2016-2017, and De Los Santos, 2018. This change in coaching staff does not allow the national team to build a solid volleyball program as these coaches differ in approach, system, and player preferences. Another factor could be the short preparation time that the national team had every tournament. More often than not, they would only start training together weeks before the tournament, while Thailand, Vietnam and other countries held year-long training. The lack of preparation time could also be attributed to the number of leagues the Philippines has. There are the NCAA and UAP, which keep young players from participating in national team-related tourney. There are the PSL and PVL conferences too, which hinder players from committing full-time to the national team due to their club obligations. And though these semi-pro leagues give way whenever needed, the time allotted for the national team training was just not enough. Combine these factors and the Philippines will just continue trailing behind other countries. But last year wasn't all about heartbreak. In fact, though the national team fell short, other teams and players still brought glory to the Philippines. The Bangko Perlas Spikers clinched the bronze medal in the VNH Long Television Cup 2018 in Vietnam, while the National University Bulldogs emerged as champions of the ASEAN Games 2018 in Thailand. 3 Filipino talents also made history as they were tapped as imports in the highly vaunted Japanese men's and women's leagues: Marcus Pajo for Oitamayashi Y Sadler, Jaja Santiago for AGO Medics, and Indan Santiago Manabit for Torre Arrows. The national team may not have fared well, but it can't be denied that Philippines has what it takes to regain its lost glory. 2019 is going to be busier and grander than the previous years. The national team is slated to participate in 2 big tournaments, the Asian Senior Women's Volleyball Championship in Korea and the SEA Games in Manila. This year could be the year the country has been waiting for. Here's to hoping the Philippines will finally earn a medal, for more Filipino spikers to be recognized as they suit up for foreign teams, and for a better and bigger 2019 for Philippine volleyball.